Hi, everybody. I'm Pierre Bouvard, Chief Insights Officer here at the Audio Active Group at Cumulus Media in Westwood One. And today we want to focus on the very latest on the state of Americans commuting to work. Over the last 4 years, we've conducted studies here at the Audio Active Group to understand how marketers and media agencies are commuting to work along with average Americans. We've done this study every 6 months or so, and we commission advertiser perceptions to survey marketers and media agencies. And for everyday Americans, we turn to Quantilope Media, who conducts a national study. The advertiser perception study consisted of about 300 marketers and media agencies surveyed just a couple weeks ago in October, and the same for Quantilope, who surveyed 1,600 average Americans also during the month of October. So the key findings. First of all, the proportion of marketers and media agencies who say they commute most or all days has been some of the highest levels since the pandemic. Overall, 85% of marketers and media agencies are commuting to work, but 10 points less than average Americans, which is about 95%. Now, in the car, AM/FM share of ad-supported audio is a stunning 85 share. So if you're looking to reach consumers on the path to purchase, all roads lead to AM and FM radio, and that 85 share has been incredibly consistent over the last decade, surveyed by the quarterly Share of Ear study from Edison Research. Now, the average American is clocking about 4.7 days commuting to work, while average marketers and media agencies somewhat less at 4.2 days per week. Now, in terms of going to the office Monday through Thursday, not surprisingly favored both by the ad agency folks, the marketers, and everyday Americans. And about 70%, 7 out of 10 marketers and media agencies are meeting in person with media vendors and going to conferences and events. So let's take a look at the marketers and media agencies, and we trend them over the last 8 surveys that we've conducted with advertiser perception. So the proportion that say they're commuting most or all days is just about all-time highs. We're in the mid-50s. That's up significantly from only 22% back in April of 2022. The next line down is the folks on the agency advertiser side that say they're commuting to work some days. That's held at around a third. And then those that are definitely working from home has been in the mid to low teens over the last couple of surveys. Now, in terms of average Americans, well, 95% of those who used to commute before the pandemic are back to commuting. You can see to the left of your screen at the height of the pandemic in 2020, almost half of those that were historically commuting were working for home. That has snapped back pretty dramatically, and we have one of the highest readings now for commuting to work. So in terms of everyday Americans at 95%, marketers and media agencies commuting about 85%. So still more Americans every day, folks, are commuting versus folks in the media agency world and the advertiser world. Now, going back to spring, there was a gap where average Americans were commuting more than folks in the marketer and media agency. And that line kind of came together about a year and a half ago in spring of 24. But in the latest fall reading, everyday Americans are pulling ahead of marketers and media agencies in terms of commuting. Now, in terms of days per week at the place of work, average Americans 4.7 versus 4.2 for marketers and media agencies. But if we zoom in on marketers and media agencies and we look at that 5 days per week, that has been steadily growing. And in fact, with the most recent October 25 reading, you can see it is at the highest point ever for marketers and media agencies. In terms of days per week, the gray represents the advertiser perceptions, marketers and media agencies. The dark blue represent average Americans. Most in the workplace Monday through Thursday, but Friday you can see the marketers and media agencies more likely than the average Americans to be working from home. Now, what about vendor meetings among marketers and media agencies, in-person conferences? About 7 out of 10 of marketers and media agencies meeting in person with vendors, and about 7 out of 10 also resuming their in-person conferences and events. So what is the current state of radio listening in the car to ad-supported audio? What is the trend for AM/FM in the car? And also, looking at some of the other media forms folks are listening to in the car. So while AM/FM remains the dominant ad-supported platform, we do see podcasts starting to creep up in the high single digits there at a 7 share. But if we go back over the past decade, AM/FM share of in-car ad-supported audio has been stunningly high, going from the low 90s now into the mid 80s. So if you want to reach Americans on the path to purchase, look no further than AM/FM radio. Now, in terms of the importance of in-car radio, it is crucial. Before the pandemic, about half of all tuning minutes to AM/FM radio among adults 25-54 went in the car. We saw that dip down during the pandemic and a quick snap back where we're right back to 50% of all tuning minutes among 25-54 occurring in the car for AM/FM radio. And if we look at the shares by demographic, it's always surprising to marketers and media agencies the strength of AM/FM radio in the car in share among younger demos. Look at 1834, a 77 share for AM/FM radio among 1834s in the car. And this is of places you can put an ad. So an 80 share for radio 1849, and we're in the mid to upper 80s for audience shares for ad-supported audio in the car for AM/FM radio. So the trend back to the office continues. We see 53% of marketers and media agencies reporting they're commuting most, if not all days. 95% of average Americans are commuting to work, 10 points more than marketers and media agencies. And in the car, according to Edison's share of ear, AM/FM remains a dominant force with an 85 share of in-car ad-supported audio, according to the just released Q2 2025 share of ear report. Average Americans clocking more days out of the home at work, 4.7 days, versus marketers and media agencies at 4.2. Monday through Thursday seems to be the big at-work day, and Fridays seeing a lot of marketers and media agencies, about a quarter, working from home, and those in-person conferences and vendor meetings occurring to about 7 out of 10 marketers and media agencies. The Audio Active Group here at Cumulus Media in Westwood One is a full-service national brand advisory. We offer a lot of measurement services, including sales effect, brand lift, as well as search and site attribution. And we spend a lot of time focusing on creative testing and audio creative best practices. Each and every week, we publish a new audio case study. You can find it on our blog at cumulusmedia.com or westwood1.com. And when you're there, sign up to get the weekly audio case study sent directly to your email box. Thanks so much for the opportunity to update you on the very latest with commuting to work among marketers, media agencies, and average Americans. Thanks so much.